love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's very exciting always co-creating like this, especially letting it flow. I love it. Okay, and we are live on YouTube. Welcome, 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 Cherry, welcome everyone. Cherry, see, I love it. I literally just asked her,
Perfect.
like, how don't I butcher your name? And your name, and I think I said it correctly the first time, and now I was like, Cherry. I love it. We start with a little bit of unknown right here in this beautiful episode, number 4 right now, right? Yes, it's number 4. And today it's amazing for me to co create here with Sherry. Um, we connected with her on Instagram, and that's another beautiful thing. I know a lot of people go into social medias and have an assumption about social media or some kind of a negative per se emotion about social media, or how can it really leak our energy, right, and seduce us into that mindless scrolling per se. Yet for me, social media was always a tool to express what I feel, my experiences, my realizations, my knowledge, and at the same time, what a profound ways to connect to others that are on the same frequency, right? That's been on this road of hero journey, right? On this journey of awakening, of growth, of expansion. So you know what? Before I start, thank you for all the social media platforms. No matter how there is another edge of the sword where yes, you can get cut, you can get imprisoned, you can start utilizing it as validation, right? Or as a crutch, or maybe even identify as a success with like reaching a certain number of followers. And right there, you're still going to be stripped away that ego layer anyway. So I am grateful for those social media platforms that allowed me to connect to beings like Sherry, to connect to beautiful, I will even say, like, you're creating your own basis of how you heal yourself, and you're rippling that out as well. So what I see now, all of us through the social media, because a lot of us were spread out pretty widely throughout the grid with a higher frequency to hold the grid, we're able to connect deeply, to continue co-create and actually stabilize these newer structures, because we are the code. Look at this. I celebrate. We have in place someone like Catherine, Dr. Catherine, right? Like going all in quantum biology. We have people that are myofascial release. We have people that are sharing the depth of the breath work, of the meditation, of tapping. We have people that explored wealth and redefine it for themselves. So basically, there's so much already in place. Now I feel like we're all just connecting and building on the top of it. So that's what I am celebrating immensely, not only today, right? Every day. Yet it's beautiful to share today. So today, being the glitch 004, obviously broadcasting from the edge of this human evolution, creating from aliveness a new paradigm of embodied wealth with Cherry. Cherry, please introduce yourself a little bit. Um, Consciousness. Wait, what is your what is the ad tag in Instagram?
Consciously connected living.
Yes, beautiful. Consciousness connected living. Amazing. Very quantum living lifestyle, right? It's living, it's the lifestyle, it's us being it. Beautiful. Go ahead.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. Roma, thank you for having me here. It's such a pleasure and honor. Talk about living from aliveness. This is something that is bringing so much joy and so much vitality into my experience here today. So thank you. My work and my means, my pathway of showing up through leveraging social media has been through my own moment of when my body and my identity completely started to unravel in my human experience. And so it's led me on this journey of not only supporting myself to engage in what actually brings life vitality to my own experience, but making that a mission for myself in terms of supporting others in bringing awareness to creating from wholeness, from vitality, from aliveness. From that space is where we truly get to create anything that's real, anything that's true to us. And so what I'm doing here is just sharing these ways, these simple tools, from coming back just to stillness with the breath, opening these portals that bring us to the sacred remembering that we are more than this vessel. We are so much more than this physical body that we have. And when we slow down to breathe and connect to this portal that brings us beyond our physical self, we realize there's so much more to what we are here to experience. We are the glitch in how we play this game, and identifying that separation from illusion of what this old identity or limitation might have been, and can see that for what it is. We create this doorway, this experience of limitless potential, so to speak.
Wow, I love it. And yeah, as you mentioned, being the glitch, again, every guest here, um, in my experience, in my interpretation, had to glitch their own matrix, had to glitch their own mental universe, identities. Ooh, this is me and Alana touched last time of the grieving those identities of your own, right? Um,
Oh,
letting those parts of you dissolve, and being seen and being left. Beautiful. So yeah, I celebrate every glitch, not my guests here, right? Every glitch out there that glitched the lineage patterns, right? The whole family patterns, and start breaking and collapsing these hijacked structures, basically. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for being here. Now,
yeah. And there's
why?
not just one glitch, there might
Yeah,
be this continuous, this unraveling of continued experiences where we continue to meet ourselves, and we have this choice to choose. It's always this reflection of which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? And doing that through this felt sense of um, knowing that we get to choose how we're creating our experience. And what I mean by this is, so many of us are stuck in this space of thinking our way forward rather than feeling our way forward. And when we can flip that paradigm on its head of, okay, what is the feeling of the embodiment of the reality we want to experience, and bringing that feeling into this moment through this aliveness, that's where we are starting to consciously create. We're either consciously creating or unconsciously creating whatever our experience is going to be every moment.
yeah, yeah.
And so aliveness is truly our currency of exchange to consciously create.
I love it that you say aliveness. I used to utilize this word a lot a while ago, especially. So I will ask, and then I'll share how I used to utilize it. So what aliveness, that authentic raw aliveness, mean to you, right? Because a lot of people will be like, "I'm alive,"
Yeah,
correct?
I love
Um,
this question.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm alive. What do you mean I'm not alive? Of course I'm alive. Go ahead.
Well, this can go down a pretty deep rabbit hole if
Well,
we
that's what
allow
we're here for, glitching.
it. For me, the sense of aliveness has become this deep connection to my spirituality, um, separate from the identity of self, and this deep awareness and connection that has been able to be felt through slowing down, through really coming to putting ourselves in these environments. We're creating environments where we can feel the range of what life has to offer. And what I mean by that is, I, our society has led us to believe that feeling happy, feeling joyful, feeling whatever, a connection to, one thing is good, and feeling sad or low or grieving or these other things are negative energies. But when we can come into the realization that all of these feelings, all of these expressions of ourself are what make us human, and they're neither good or bad, they just are. And we can appreciate what this connection is to what these feelings are showing us. And that's this spectrum of, for me, is this infinite love from this space of openness, of connection, of trusting beyond what it is we can see. And that through this embodiment of expression of feeling, through our open heart space, that we are alive. I
Beautiful.
don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, it's a lot of times. Okay, you know how there's a saying like communication is the key. I always say no, it's not. Comprehension is. Because there's how many couples we find that communicated for years and like none of these deep conversations, like at the end they felt like
Nowhere.
they understood each other but nothing shifted in the family, right? Because there's no comprehension. So when even me sometimes delivering or expressing my own experience, it's so challenging a lot of times to put it into words because the experiences we're feeling, it's outside of the five senses that we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
Hence wording automatically like will limit it in a ways. And the same, expressing my own experience within wholeness. Yeah, I can like find myself, I'm just like, wow, I'm babbling. And like, yet at the end of the end, message who like, who never gets to receive this message, they will receive it. It doesn't matter. I always say, like, don't look how the message is delivered. Don't look how the person is speaking or what they're wearing or the environment they're in. Even me, I'll get like on Instagram, like, it's so funny. So I giggle, I enjoy it. People will judge something. I'll share, a little clip of me from live with with Gary, let's say. And Gary, like, did a quick live from car, you know. And I'll have actually messages of like, why is they filming from the car? What are they, homeless? Like,
The judgment.
yeah, and I'm like, it, from all the clip, that's what you got. Like you could have gotten like how to get yourself into harmony, like, but no, you dismiss the message because it was the way it was delivered, where it was delivered, right? The accent that it was delivered, what the person was wearing. So again, when if I hear someone like she babbled, and I couldn't understand or something, right? Whatever that is, I'll be like, oh, you just didn't receive the message. It's okay, like, because whoever is meant to receive, they will receive it. And I love what you said. And I'll build on to that. And yes, absolutely. That's where, first of all, it comes not to dismissing parts of yourself. Yet, a long time ago, so I did personal training for a while, and I was very successful of people losing. I mean, I had everybody over 200 and 300 pounders. So I had people yeah, it wasn't like, oh, I get to get in a little tone, right?
Mm,
I had people that literally
transformation.
shifted, transformed their lives. And the one thing why it was successful because they told me, my clients told me, you reframed the way we see ourselves. Correct? So the moment we started to reframe the way they see, that's where the aliveness start coming in. And I used to always laugh. Like, if you really want to somebody to suffer, right? Would you would you kill them right away or would you keep them half alive? You would keep them half
So
alive.
what?
And if you honestly, right, I remember I had this interview, it was more from my personal training, but it's 10 years ago probably. And I say, like, and obviously, let's look around. Most of us live half alive. And most of us live half alive because we suppress the parts of ourselves because we're trying to fit in into some kind of normal frame, perfect, good looking, good girl, great coach, good daughter, and all of these. The moment I take upon a frame that is not coming fully through me, the
Mhm,
moment I take that identity that is given to me, but it wasn't created by me,
mhm,
right? That's where I'm already half alive automatically. Not a question asked, you know, because titles will only limit us.
yeah.
There is not a title that will not limit. We lived as well, again, in an inverted universe where everything was upside down, meaning, getting PhD, right? Or doctors, like, wow, a big deal. Everybody's respecting and oh, it's so amazing, right? A title of whatever, a mayor, a title of, again, a doctor, a title of the lawyer, a title, so mother, a title, husband, a title. Yet let's look how much these titles limit us. If I am a woman that experiencing healing within my body, I can simply get on the YouTube and share. If I'm a doctor that experiencing inner healing, I cannot. That would be illegally for me to share something else. But what my license allow me to share.
Mhm.
If I am a husband throwing a tantrum, correct? Well, now I'm a bad husband. Yet if I'm just a being, a soul, a friend that's throwing a tantrum, the wife is gonna lean more so into holding the space, right? If I do, she doesn't see it just as a husband, right? A daughter and a mom, the same, right? A mom, it comes automatically with a collective association of what that feels like, means like, what am I supposed to act like, be like, as a daughter to a mom, as a mom to a daughter, right? It's already a limitation. Because if the daughter wants to express a little bit outside of the box, she's a bad girl, right? If mom doesn't want to fit in into the perfect mom or whatever, here it is. Like, so yeah, that's even if you put titles on you, I feel like you're already a little bit of half alive.
Yeah, I love that you bring that up because that's actually been a huge construct with to deconstruct actually in this experience of how I actually show up or represent myself online. And I think many people, when they're promoting themselves as a service or as a business or as something to facilitate and support others in, we feel restricted in the way that we must label ourselves, our identity, and what that allows us to express ourselves as or not in terms of what's received as being a authority or a leader or a um, anything within the space of that identity that you've labeled yourself within. And the most liberating thing that we can do for ourselves, even in being of service through a business title, is to really emphasize that we are souls here on a mission. And when we're souls in this vessel on a mission, we have no limitation into the way that we can express ourselves as long as it's led through a space of love, authenticity, truth in terms of what our heart is telling us to be. And yeah, the unraveling of the constructs of identity is one of the most powerful components that we can express, that we don't have to do anything one way. We are really multidimensional beings that have the freedom to explore what actually keeps us going. And that can shift at any time. We can be the mother, we can be the personal trainer, we can be the coach, the cook, the chef, the whatever, you know, we're not defined to that one thing,
Yeah.
but is it bringing us aliveness? Is it bringing us connection?
Yeah. We get to explore them, right? We get to experience those hats, those titles, those expressions. Because again, I've had goosebumps. We still get to go into wealth and everything yet. I've had actually people that been working with me, and let's say they didn't have a good relationship between, themselves and their daughter, right? That father with daughter. And because again, we were going through the titles, right? But it's supposed to be like this. She should love me because I'm the father, right? Or she should
Mm,
at least respect me as a father, right? And then he dissolved those. And it's funny because once he dissolved those, now he has, these younger kids working with him in the construction side. And not only his daughter is very open right now, and they're having starting to have a beautiful relationship where she actually comes to him as that nurturing father because he took the title off. Yet these kids that he's working with, and the way he's sharing his own experiences with him, and the way he's like nurturing them into these great workers, because he doesn't see them as just a worker, right? Again, he's dissolving all the titles. Suddenly he's getting a letter from a 27-year-old boy saying he's a father figure in his life. And he was like, what? I was begging my daughter to feel like, what? Now suddenly I'm a father figure to so many, but I just dissolved the father. I was like, okay, I don't need to be a father. What happened? So you can want to have a title, yet are you really emanating that nurturing energy of the father, of the mother, of the coach,
what
of
is
the
the essence? Yeah.
movement leader, of the leader, right? Like, because that's where it's gonna come from. Energy speaks first. And where the disconnection happens when I'm asking from the title, but the energy is not there.
Mm.
So yeah,
That-
that's
yeah. The essence of being, the essence
yeah,
of embodiment.
yeah. And again, even here, like, look at the wealth and abundance. With the title, oh yeah, it seems like that's the abundance. I am the father. I own two children. But no, no. Versus the wealth, the abundance of like, I don't have to be a father. I get to have nurturing energy for every soul around here.
Hmm.
Every relationship starts with that basic, right? Basic of wealth, understanding, because we're not looking through the prism of filtered title. You know, that's where your wealth and abundance starts as well, right there in relationships, in being seen, feeling appreciated, feeling valued. We can all be liked. Be liked is very easy. You just get to tell somebody what they want to hear. Yet, are you really valued? Are you valued in your relationships? If you're a leader, are you valued by whoever you're leading, right? If somebody's, are you valued by your lead? Like, are you valued? Are you valued where you're at? And again, the value will come from your own value within yourself. So yeah, maybe that's a good as well kind of intro. Like, first of all, this new definition of wealth, this new definitions creating from aliveness, where before the wealth was what did you accumulate, right? Have you accumulated nice cars? Have you accumulated nice wives? Great husbands, successful husbands. Have you accumulated decent amount of money on the side? Have you accumulated more titles? That was wealth,
Yeah.
correct? I am a PhD and the CEO and the father of three. Wealthy. Yet somehow, right, your relationships are falling apart, your health is falling apart, and inside you're living in a misery.
Yeah.
Not so, does not feel so wealthy. What about if I go deeper into that wealth, right? What about that accumulated wealth always had you doing things that you must, you should, you have to? What about if I'm going to call forward and say that the new definition of new earth wealth is you don't have to do anything you ever don't want to. You don't need anything. You don't should anything. You get to if you choose to. What about waking up and knowing that you today not going to do anything that you don't want to because you don't have any attachments? A while ago for me, if you were talking to me 3 years ago, even be like, Roma, don't post for a week on Insta. I'll be like, what do you like? It's still no, no, no. It's still like no, no. Now I'm on a mission. Like I kind of have. Right now, I can MIA for 2 weeks and I'm not worrying about it. I don't have to. That's wealth. When I wake up and I only can follow my heart, yet it starts way before you're able to do it physically. You get to start doing it mentally and emotionally. And I will give after Cherry share something, share something. I will give you a few tools. Wording is the one of the biggest tools. There is the word I have to, I should, I must, I need does not exist in my vocabulary.
Mm-mm. It's
Does
a
not.
lack energy. It's a lack energy.
It's entrapment. If you should address this today and you should take this gift today and if you should act this way today, you're already half alive. How good are you going to be? How well are you going to execute, create, show up if you are in energy of I am trapped in this? How wealthy do you feel even if you have $20,000 cash right now in a pocket? Right? And Porsche in the yard, but you feel today you have to do this, you need to do this, you should do this, you must do this. How wealthy do you really feel? Take anywhere you want to take.
Restricted. Yeah. Yeah. You know, the construct of our identities, our old identities are always something retract attached to some sort of survival component. And when we rise into this identity of wealthy, this feeling of wealthiness, in my experience, has been this separation between the need to feel like you have to perform for it and leaning into what you were saying about that heart-led expression, the wealthiness of choice, moving toward the expression of what you get to do this day, knowing that that aligned action in choice is going to carry you that much further than if you are hitting these walls of forced action through this attachment to a conditioned belief that this is the only way that we can achieve something. And that's that whole detachment of actually what the feeling of wealth is. It's the feeling of having a spacious morning, the freedom to choose, the trust in the infinite, in the energetics of how we get to create, and saying yes to what it is we want and are receiving or welcoming. I don't even like to use the word want because even that is in this entrapment type of energy. It's more of claiming a declaration.
Amen.
And so the moment we stop performing for our wealth and we actually welcome the feeling, the essence of this through practices, stepping outside, simple things, we really have been misled to believe that vitality and health and success is this difficult thing because we've led to attach it to things outside of ourselves. But when we can really rewind and come back to identifying what it is internally being expressed,
I love it. Yeah.
then we can support ourselves in navigating these choices that support this aliveness or shifting the lack of aliveness that we might be programmed within ourselves to feel dead, limited, depressed, stuck, frozen. What is it? What is this one thing? And taking that action to feel into the result of what that is and how that serves you. For me, that's taking my shoes off and stepping outside and feeling the earth, no matter what the temperature is. But in tracking that data in terms of the felt sense of how that's left an imprint on me, I know if I go days without taking my shoes off outside, I am going to feel that disconnection from the aliveness, from the oneness, from the interconnectedness of the energy that's shared.
And many micro steps showing up for yourself,
Yes.
where you are the one that declaring that you are the value.
Yes.
um, and that ripples out. And in my experiences, even yesterday, and it wasn't really attached to this live. I was talking to someone else that my own financial success came up, right? My own, and I really looked back, and I was like, wow, it's insane if I look back every time, and I love it. Years ago, I did have skincare company, um, clothing company. So it was like a one-stop shop for women, right? I had the yoga in the back, a little bit of psychology where I used to still personal training. There was a skincare and like facials, and then clothing, right? Fashion. It's like come in and
Full
reframe your
lifestyle.
correct, yeah. And in fact, to be successful with like an actual product that has a big markup, like skincare, for example. And so it's very challenging for me to utilize skincare right now, unless it's like oils, because I've seen how the skincare is made and what it really is. Yet it was very easy in a way to become successful. And if I look back, every time I reached in one of the cycles, right, that like, oh wow, amazing. And then there is always a collapse of that moving into the next chapter, right? And every time you're more successful, you're more successful with finances, your relationships are deeper, your businesses are more profound, right? More soul orientated as well. I love these layers that are keep unfolding. Yet every single time where I was at my peaks, if I look at quite a few of them back, it was when I was most at ease,
Mm.
yet with most movement in inspired action. The times, because I'm Eastern European as well, and when I came here, I didn't have papers for a very long time, right? I had three jobs all the time. Like there was no questions asked. And we're very like used to like, you work hard, you work hard, you work hard, you work hard, and you work harder.
Yeah.
The story doesn't even like Eastern European story with finances or success or money doesn't even ever end happily ever after. We don't even have that in our program. At least in the United States, you have the programming, right? You hustle and you have it. Over there, you just hustle. That's how you survive. There's nothing about having it.
I
I'm
feel like there's, not that big of a gap in
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
some
But it's
cases.
insane. It's still, yeah, it's still unsustainable. You get it's
Yeah.
um and yeah, no matter how much I worked, no matter how much I worked, no matter if I saved a little and then did it, like everything just kept leaking and everything it felt constantly. Basically, I'm always running after something, right? I get up and I gotta run and hold this and then run and figure out this and then run and fix this and then and it's like and it's never ending. And then as well, I had many clients that are uber successful, right? And when I met them, it was ridiculous because I was like, wow, such a different mindset. Um, uh, where their mindset about their own value was very different. And I could right away start understand. Like, even starting coaching, by the way, when I started it, a lot of people that were not per se living on that higher performance level, right? They still have an idea of like, oh, do I really need this? Am I going to fix myself? Like, therapy, coaching, I don't know if I, versus anybody that is at the higher, let's say, financial or success always level, for them, it's very normal to have 5 phone calls a week that gives them different perspective because that's literally how they make most clear decisions. And
Mm-hmm.
they value these different perspectives. For someone that is struggling in survival, you come with different perspective, they fight it, right? They want to like, no, look at me, I'm right. That's why it's happening for me. Look at all these versus you go with someone that already is like, there'll be like, huh, I never thought from the side. Give it to me, give it. Okay, sure. What? How? What did you say? What did you say? So it was even intriguing to see different mindsets. Yet the safety, the wealth factor, and the abundance factor wasn't much different of the way they were feeling. This person that was with, a we could say wow, solid financial success, inside he was still needing more, or was worrying about how to protect that all
Mm-hmm.
constantly, right? Where I have a girlfriend that makes a fraction of it and has the car that she wants, yet he's not allowing the car that he wants for himself,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
So again, yeah, from outside, there's always more. Whatever we're shown, right? It's just an like interface of the computer, right? Is these little app squares, but there's so much more behind it, you know? So yeah, go ahead.
Um, it leads me to this concept of this healing trap identity. And, like you're saying, these two examples of different people with different tangible truths in terms of their wealth and success. But what's happening internally is different. And when we have this identity that we are not whole, we're not safe in what it is that we already have, what we're experiencing, we create this loop, this healing loop, rather than this allowance of receiving more. And I've caught myself in this loop multiple times. Yeah, yeah. So, but it's the ability to zoom out and see that in that reflection of looking back in the times where we had these highs and we've had these lows, and what were the tangible differences in terms of our embodiment and our feelings in those experiences. And if we are feeling like there's pieces of us missing, we're going to keep trapping ourselves within this seeking rather than opening ourselves to this trust and this allowing. And so realizing that we actually are always whole, we're not broken, but this understanding, this understanding of these perceived limitations that we get to look at from a different perspective and say, oh, that was just this force imprint on me. Now that I see it, I get to choose whether it's taking a piece of me or I get to dissolve that and honor anything and the expression of self that wants to come through. It's what we choose to believe of our identity that allows us or limits us and nurtures that peace, that sense of
Yeah,
peace.
yeah. You cannot have like, can Sherry experience a life of a beautiful woman if she doesn't identify with a beautiful woman? She
Right.
can. Can
No.
she experience a life of an ease, right? If she is not easy with herself, like no. Can she experience abundance if she doesn't identify with abundance? No.
Mm.
So, of course, we cannot have an experience of anybody that we don't identify with, period. And that's for me, Sherry, where like the big breakthrough, breakdown slash breakthrough happened right after, right? Where I understood that I get to reframe
Mhm.
basically every story about myself,
Everything.
literally. And again, now people look at me and they're like, oh, good for you. Like you have the time to do yoga in the morning, right? Oh, good for you. You have the luxury. For example, Mondays is my right podcast, live podcast days. I have one call today that is always available to be moved as well if I need to. And then Tuesday half day in the AM, I have full like permission to do whatever I want for myself. If I have a bigger retreat, a bigger masterclass, like because I like to take my time and integrate everything, what was, what is. I love to let my body to wallow in these experiences, right? Like whatever that was. A breakthrough here is a breakdown. I don't care, right? It gets to really know these these feelings. And yeah, right now, if I from this place tell you this and you will like kind of like look at me and be like, well, it's easy for you to find it, the time or to find the resources, right? Or of course, all your friends are now like light language and this, so you can just jump on the call. Yet it didn't start it here, right? It started with me having, I worked in the mall 12 hours days. At the same time, I was building my own personal training company where my clients started at 5 to 9. At 10, I was in the mall till 5 p.m. At 6 p.m., I had a client till 9 p.m., all the clients. And then from 9 to midnight, I used to create my website, the posts for personal training, and so on. Yet, guess who used to show up at 4 a.m. to work out? You don't find time, you create it.
You create it.
And you know, a fun fact, I don't know if you are aware, beautiful beings, this is the space, this is the realm of space and time. That's the only realm of time. And we're
Mhm.
all looking for time in the only realm with time, and we can't find it. What do you mean? They, this is the only place it fucking exists, and we can't find it. Meaning you will not find it unless you create it. This is the only space you can create time that looks linear, right? The cause effect. Everywhere else, it happens simultaneously, right? At the same time. So you not being able to create it, it shows you your wealth already. It shows you your wholeness, your value for yourself. And that's how you letting know the universe of your value.
Mhm.
So you cannot create a time, you know, and in the beginning when the days were long and Christmas came along, the mall was long hours, lots of sales, right? Yeah, I would be like, okay, today is only 5 minutes for me to stretch. That's about that I'm able to do. And it's, I'm going to show 15 minutes to 5. Yet still, I'm going to stretch. I'm going to ground before my client. Correct? It's where it started. Can I prioritize myself, right? If I came back from the mall, I had a couple clients. I'm about to sit down to do to work on my website, and here's a girlfriend calls with an absolute drama and hysteria about her boyfriend. Guess, was it easy for me to dissolve the identity of being a good friend and actually, yeah, Roma wanted to play these games. Like, I wanted to be involved right now, having dinner with my girlfriends and being involved with these conversations and this little drama, being a good friend, and enjoy how bad is the boyfriend, right? Like, that's cute. Like, you meet the girlfriends, like, that's how you 3D everything, right? You get up, you meet up, and you complain and judge and tell what drama and life is doing it to me. Correct? Yet I had to, in these moments, I knew I had to. Right? I was like, huh, if I want to, so I had to. Now, how do I turn this? I had to, and I get to. So I had to choose to prioritize my own vision,
Mhm.
rather still feel very comfortable and cute and still have great time with my friend, right? Yeah, that's not the vision. That's a distraction already.
Leaking,
Yeah,
leaking energy.
that's leaking. So I was the one that at the beginning had to build that vision, that structure within, where Roma started expressing herself, right? As value, as wholeness, as abundance, as worthy, right? As she's wealthy, right? So now, for example, even in these times, wherever you are, you have three kids and a husband doesn't support you well, and then you have a job, and then your body, let's say, a nervous system is falling apart. Maybe that's where you're at. Perfect. No worries, because everything can be shifted like this. Every moment there is a clean canvas. You don't have to drag your past. Yet, would you be able right now to prioritize today, or tomorrow, whatever? Today is the best. No, it's not. Could you prioritize yourself for 5 minutes before you get started a day? Could you prioritize yourself and not get entangled with the neighbor's drama, with the extra information from your girlfriend, with a nonsense or an argument or your husband's with the neighbor about the politics, right? And be like, oh, I'm gonna take a bath while they argue right now because I'm prioritizing myself and I'm just gonna be here. I don't have to be involved there, right? So you're starting to create these, and then you start changing your words everywhere you go in every area of your life. I had, and I'll tell you a quick, I'll take, okay, I have a family. So where a mom was like, you know, job, cleaning the house after the work, teenagers as well at home, cooking. It was amazing how she literally just shifted her wording about the cooking. Like, I have to, I don't know if I can make the call. I have to cook for my family. And months later, she was able and to make a call, and she got to cook for her family because her meals was full of love, right? Healthier, and family gets to feel that, correct? And then she gets to appreciate her body as well. And guess what happened? Eventually, because she went cooking from a very different place, family started helping her with cooking. Family started being more appreciative about her cooking. And then she was like, oh, huh, wow, that's so weird. I never got so many thank yous after my cooking because she was coming from a very different place that she doesn't have to cook. Moms, again, exhausted, tired, and, energy is included everywhere. What do you think? What kind of energy are we including when you cooking? But have your fucking self on with you, all
We're
of you.
transferring that energy.
Yeah, we're
Mhm.
transferring that energy, and then no wonder, like, somebody's sniffling and somebody's sick. Like, oh, they're just letting out the toxins that we put in the food, you know. So reframing all of this. I had a family. I have a family up until now. Both of them were working for someone else, 9 to 5, and both of them knew they have the ability to do something else. Yet in the beginning it was, doesn't have English, too shy, no education in the United States, and yet they both have, as a family right now, they have three businesses, thriving businesses. And it wasn't before because they had to do something, because they chose to check out, explore their possibilities. So in the beginning, you start sprinkling, creating the time. You're creating the time. You're not finding it, you're creating it. You then sprinkling into your day, prioritizing yourself. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute in the mirror. It doesn't matter. Not answering the call before going and running to clean up the house or anything, like, really going and just, I don't know, having a foot bath.
Sacred action. That's what I call.
Exactly. Anything. Correct. Changing these wordings totally. I get to go to the. Do I have to work out? Do I have to do yoga today? I don't have to. I get to. I get to. Why? Well, my fascia gets to drink today. And then my fascia, as it drinks, my body gets to receive this beautiful flow of electricity with ease. And then, as
Mhm.
this happens with ease, my money flows with ease into me. The resources, the creation flows with ease. I get to. I don't have to. A lot of times, if I don't want to, I don't do it. Do I get to be? Oh, you know how fun it is to bring the lazy Rama in? All of these parts that we dismiss, they're needed. At all, at this moment, you will need the Roma that knows how to express anger fully and be in it. Oh, and this to stand for at this. Oh, it's perfect because when lazy Roma comes in and I give her the green light, really, there's not a moment on my head that I should be doing something. She's just here. Sometimes she's watching Netflix. Sometimes she's just cuddling with a dog. Sometimes she doesn't even care what's on social. How fun is that? And these are the days that she gets to be brought up, you know. And there are days where I get to show up, and then here's the structured Roma shows up, you know, the a little bit of a masculine for me. It's like, ooh, okay, so I get to choose today what am I gonna create. So again, shifting all the conversation, reframing all the parts of you. Yet nothing will happen if you will try to organize it, regulate it, control it outside, in outside world. It only going to shift if the shift happens within first. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, sacred.
Yeah, wherever you want to take it.
Sacred action to embodiment. And so defining the parameters around our values, defining the parameters of our creating of time, creating our experience, creating our day, structuring our day by way of what we value, what's important to us, and bringing our awareness to that to move through that gift of getting to do, getting to be, getting to experience. And so when we realize that our frequency is what opens ourselves to this aliveness, to this expression of our being, and devotion is what brings us toward this action of expressing it and the commitment to this pathway that we are agreeing to, that we're choosing. Um, and so, you know, a lot of our past experience actually aligns in many ways. I was a personal trainer for many years. And so a lot of this resonates. And a huge gap for me was, and a huge part of this unraveling and commitment to the journey I'm on now and committed to forever is this gap of waking up and serving people, others, before serving myself.
Yeah.
And feeling like I was always running on this empty gas tank of depletion, and then feeling resentment because I'm helping all of these people live healthier lives, but then there's this gap and imbalance when really it was me not taking responsibility and how to manage and support my energy in my life. But it wasn't until you zoom out and look in on like, what are these beliefs? What are these emotions that are carrying and structuring this identity of, or this construct of operation that I'm choosing to be in? And when you can acknowledge and identify, like, ooh, and become aware that you have a choice to restructure the system. And that was the ticket. That was the permission slip for me to kind of rebuild all over again, dismantle and start to rebuild. Was like, wow, understanding our brains, our bodies, neuroplasticity, how conditioning works, that it's not forever, that the Western medical industrial complex is not here to heal us. It is here to keep us trapped, ooh, trapped into this, this, I call it a sick cycle.
Really?
And,
Really? Wow, I'm surprised.
and yeah, and so even doing things, serving in ways that lit me up and brought me joy was also depleting me at the same rate. And I knew that something had to be missing, that I wasn't understanding, that was creating this trap, this cycle of depletion. And it was the the disconnection from our power, from our internal power of realizing that we are the alchemists, that we are the healers, that returning back to basics, back to origin, back to supporting our energy is truly the medicine that allows us to be fully expressive, that allows us to heal ourselves, that allows us to acknowledge that we are actually whole. So, coming back to basics, returning to origin, like I said, what does that actually mean? Disregarding all of these pills and whatever that might be a temporary band aid, and giving ourselves the foundational elements for the body to do what it needs to do, because we are built to thrive.
Amen. Amen. You know what? Something came up, and I bet like that's fun for anyone that's gonna listen to it too. What would you say would be your definition of wealth right now, right? As for you, yours. And
Mm.
then what would you say, how different and what was it before your understanding about the wholeness and abundance that you already are, right? Before it was the old definition. So if you would giggle yourself, compare those both definitions, what would you share right now?
Yeah. Oh, my definition of wealth. Well, one key element is the ability to trust, which might not be something an answer that's expected, but the ability to trust. And what I mean by that is the past Sherry was so
I can
ridden
hear you. I'm bringing the charge as well, but I can hear you. Go ahead.
okay, was so ridden by fear. And everything was this, um, the stop and go in terms of operation and allowing because of fear of failure or fear of, you know, disappointing family members, all these things that are riddled with attachment. And that prevents us from actually living in our full expression. And so when I mean wealth for me right now is this sense of trust, is that I'm I'm not allowing, I'm not leaning on necessarily just myself to guide me. I'm leaning on that trusting in my power, my connection, my oneness, that following my heart, that following, yeah, my heart truly will never lead me to the wrong place. So
Beautiful.
it's this trust in this greater beyond ourselves, this coherence that gets to be created through energy. And that brings a huge sense of peace
Yeah.
into my being. And even a few years ago, not even to be able to hold that frequency of trust and peace was a very fleeting thing.
Yeah. 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 In and out. I
Yeah,
know.
very in and out.
And it's okay. That's the practice because we
Yeah.
get to, in the beginning, we kind of like um, uh, get activated in that frequency, and they're like, oh, you have that first initial ease or understanding and the comprehension and realization. Yeah, then through that inspired action, right? Through their collapsing the old, through their dissolving the old identities and stepping into new, that's where the integration, anchoring, and then stabilization happens of it. So that dance is absolutely fantastic. I feel like it's a tango. Like if you and I now try to learn tango, we'll step on each other's toes for sure, right? Yet, see us in a month, right? After every day practicing and watch us tango, you know? So, yeah, because these bodies, these beautiful physical vessels, um, are capable of, yeah, we are the ones, I feel like, that bring into that coherence with this new higher energy. um,
Mhm.
and we get to again anchor it, and these vessels are used to something else. So I am the responsible mother and father for this vessel and for this inner child, correct? As my
Mhm.
feminine energy is responsible, like, am I rested enough, right? Am I aligned? Then am I creative enough at the moment to create something, right? Whatever, am I collapsing? How deep am I feeling? Am I feeling the whole the depth? Where my father, the masculine within me, right, was like creating that space, creating the structure, creating, oh, talking to you, like, hey, we're scheduling this and this, my masculine, versus what are we going to talk here? I don't know. My feminine going to come in. I'm not worried about she'll express something, correct? Um,
Mhm.
so, yeah, so this vessel is given to us, borrowed or so, right? And we are the ones that are responsible of, like, how am I anchoring the most ease into this vessel? Because, so for me, a new definition of wealth, and I did feel an old definition of wealth, because there was a couple times in my life where I felt it wasn't like, wow, I'm good done. No, it doesn't really exist in the whole world. Yet I was at the success where, let's say, my Eastern European younger me wouldn't imagine financially, and how much I can travel and what I can buy and acquire, correct? um, I was there where I was like, oh, everything is so great. Like, even personal training company. I was downtown Chicago. People came to me. I was only like one on one. I had my own little gym. Other clients came to me. I was very successful. I was in People's Magazine twice as one of the best trainers in the United States. It was 2012, 2013, 2014. I was speaking at Arnold's Schwarzenegger's Fitness Ohio, the biggest fitness conference. Next to him, I was babbling because my English was so horrible at this time as well. I was just a few years like in the United States, and I came really without English. Yet, like, the taste, let's say, right, of the yet my insights were, it's like something is off, something is off, something is off, something is off. It's like, what is off? Why am I more successful and more fragmented inside? I couldn't, you get it? I was like, something is, so really I just closed everything out, sold it, and just left, packed everything, put stuff in the storage, and I moved. And I think these are as well wealth, a way of integration into my vessel, because no matter how comfortable I had somewhere, if it was tormenting me inside,
Permanently,
I
yeah.
just, yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, something is not all right here. I don't know. I don't have an answer, and I don't care for. I'm not gonna wait for that answer. I'm just like
That's so powerful.
moving
Mm.
through this, yeah, into something new. So, even that, how many people have, let's say, jobs or careers, and they feel like it's stable. I want to say stable job, stable career. It's like, wow, it doesn't exist. It's ridiculous to say it. Yet again, how many of us as a kids heard it like, oh, get the education, you'll have a stable job, you'll have a stable future, you'll have a set everything, and then have some money on the side, and then you'll be good to go. So yeah, even I wanted to say stable, and I really giggle inside. It doesn't exist. Beautiful beings. If really, a lot of us chosen things for the safety, for the stability, for the survival. Yet again, especially if you chose the relationship for safety, especially if you chose this job, this place, the city to live in for safety, it will be collapsing in your face. No questions asked. Because again, amen, we're not here to survive, we're here to thrive. And yet, how many people can say, I did everything I could here. I feel like I want to explore something else, and just able to just get up and leave their jobs, their careers, their city. That's wealth. For me, that's wealth. That's
Mhm.
abundance. Being able to do whatever you want to do at any given moment, being able to do it because you always have the flow of resources, of finances, of network, of connections, because you're always fully aligned in your inspired action. And either it's that moment minus $9 or plus $900,000 in your account, it doesn't like, it doesn't move a muscle. Nothing flinches in your body. Like, that's wealth. Where you're like, I'm leaving this great, amazing mountain that I climbed. I want to climb this one. Like, you can, how many can do that with ease? Without the conflict within themselves, or how many would love to do that, yet live with that conflict within themselves and not are able to step into that action. That's for me wealth. How many of us are able to tune into our bodies without needing to go to the third party to tell us what the body is doing? That's wealth.
Mm.
That's wealth. For me, knowing what my body needs at any moment, not needing to have, in fact, haven't had a doctor 23 years, never had insurance, didn't have papers, didn't have, and that's the beauty. I always had to create something from zero because I wasn't able to go and work somewhere, right? I didn't have papers. And I feel like, well, now I have it, right? But it's so beautiful because I don't need to. I don't need to rely on someone to write me a check. I can create something from a thin air. Thin air. I can leave every single, like, and the travels. How many of you can, like, hey, you're gonna pack only one suitcase and travel for a year? How many of you would be attached to dress, to a painting in the house, right? To the couch? That's wealth. It's the opposite. It's not what you accumulated. The
It's the
wealth,
letting
again,
go.
how much of expansion and space and ease you have to be able to, for all of it, the experience is just to move through you, 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 to continue to expand you more. For me, that is wealth. Wealth for me is not having resentment when somebody's having resentment on you, or not being able not to get angry when somebody's angry.
Mhm.
Unreasonable, being unreasonable, living beyond this old kind of paradigm reason. For me, that's wealth. How fun it is when somebody's judging you, and not you only not feeling judged, you don't judge them, but you really just giggle where we all at. That's wealth because your body doesn't take anything, right? Like your body not taking somebody's else label, your body not taking somebody's else, like wealth right there. You knowing right now, oh, I'm in Connecticut. I would like to be next 2 months in Florida. That's wealth. I have families as well. There's a really cute family with two little kids. Like they literally at this, like they put they're not letting the kids to go to regular school. They're homeschooling kids, and they're traveling throughout the world. There are 2 months in Thailand, and then there are 2 months in India, and then there are 2 months in Nepal, and then there, and like, and a lot of us from old paradigm can look and it was like, they're biking through India. Like, what wealth is? What wealth is that? Like, they're biking. It's 30 there. Like, that's wealth because they can decide and come back to their comfortable, beautiful place in Lithuania that they still have, but they can do whatever they want. And what a beautiful wealth for our mom and a dad being able to be like, oh, I'll choose how my kids learn. Oh, I will choose if I want to work here or I want to work here. Oh, I will, huh? In fact, I will choose everything very differently that I ever chose before. That's wealth. Go ahead.
You covered so many things.
Well, anything that got stuck with you can add on or dig deeper.
Yeah, you know, so much of what you spoke to, I see it allowed me to see where I still have allowed that attachment to still pull back in small ways in in the embodiment of my own wealth. And that's a vulnerable share
Beautiful.
because there's always space where we can see that we might be limiting ourselves. And until that light is shown upon that limitation, we don't give ourselves the green light to release it, to allow it. And, you know, wealth, the embodiment of wealth. And you spoke to, this construct of going to college and all these educations and defining our wealth by our certifications, by our degrees, by our relationships. And I had so many things firing through my mind as I reflected on my own experience of what my previous self and what had influenced those decisions in my life to go to college. To, I remember always just wanting to get in a relationship and be married and be famous.
I love it.
But, and so this is a full circle moment of a little bit of deep reflection of the limitation and lack in the self-belief that I had that I didn't give myself the green light to go for. I went to college because I thought having those degrees and all of these things would create this level of success for me, this identity of a successful human. When in certain lights, you can look at it as being a huge limitation in the expression of who I actually was. From all of these different strings, from the investment that it took to go there, from the investment that it takes afterwards, to the land that it releases you into for the jobs that you can apply to. And that actually became more limiting than it did allowing in so many ways. And maybe I'm sure this resonates with other people and seeing these choices that were made out of these perceived attachments to success. When really, if I followed my heart from the beginning, a completely different path probably would have unfolded. But now that's serving me in this beautiful way to learn from, to understand what those decisions and what those external influences of perceived correctness or rightness or what's going to lead you to this feeling of wealth when it led to this depreciation of
Yeah.
satisfaction. It literally was pulling the life force out of me for years. And you hit this space of choice. And it's either to change or to repeat. And so wealth for me has been the ability to allow myself to imagine, to dream, to play in that space. Because that's really where we can consciously create from. If we can see it, if we can feel into it, there's no reason why we can't allow those pieces to come together in the magic of the quantum and the mystery. And that's what I'm playing in now. And it's, yeah, the more that you just breathe into those spaces and creating the space to do that, that's wealth. The choice to not settle and go back to that job clocking in and out just because it's safe. To actually create that space to dream, to imagine, to visualize, to breathe, to connect.
I really love what you said. Wow, what a wealth, really. What a beautiful part of wealth is to let yourself dream bigger than you ever imagined. Allow yourself to envision, allow yourself, your body to wallow in these frequencies and these feelings, right? Of I'm already there. It's complete. It's done. I am whole. I am abundant now. And I love, as well as you were like, that's what I'm doing now. because again, a big reminder for myself, I bet Jerry as well, and everyone that is watching now or will be watching later. I have, oh, I see a few people are watching. So again, if anybody feels question or anything, put it in because I will revisit the comments later as well. Yet, wow, allowing yourself to envision, allowing yourself to really, although right now maybe I wouldn't like really mm, focus on the words of desire and want, right? Let's utilize them for now because again, everything is a tool. Nothing is right or wrong. So I would be like, allow yourself to want what you really want because a lot of us didn't even don't even do that,
Yeah,
right?
block that.
It's like too big. What do you mean? Get realistic, Roma, right? That was always the unreal. Get real. What are you doing? Correct? So allowing yourself, per se, live in these, visions in this cloud, that's wealth for sure. Allowing yourself to believe, allowing yourself to allow, or even allowing yourself to surrender. How many of us been holding on to things or been holding it together? That's already a lack of wealth. Barely holding the project together, barely holding the relationship together, barely holding, gluing the family together, like gluing myself together, like, you get like I'm wealthy, I'm involved. Like, no, you're just barely holding it together.
I
Like,
feel what
letting it
that
all
feels
fall
like.
apart.
Oh, yeah.
That's wealth as well, right? Like letting me, like, okay, I'm dismantling my personal trading business. Like something, like I hit the limit where like something inside is telling me at this moment I don't want to walk further this path. Done, right? That's wealth. Oh, I'm gonna allow myself to dream bigger, allowing yourself to surrender to that unknown. Wealth.
Allowing yourself to do it differently.
Wealth. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yes. And I feel like a lot of us, leave alone the idea of spirituality shouldn't shouldn't be expensive. We're kind of dismissing that because it's already too old and we're already clear that that ain't how it is. You know how like, oh, spiritual people should be free and stuff. I feel like we're all beyond that at this point, right? We don't we
I hope
don't,
so,
don't
yeah.
need to go there. Yeah. I feel like, come on, like we're not there yet. Again, as even like I used to allow myself to sit with that as well. Anytime when I was creating from heart, um, I used to have a feeling, right? Because maybe because like I did it before, right? With the products and kind of a 3D structure of business, right? Uh, um, when you go through the heart, in the beginning, it's almost maybe more challenging.
Mm.
You're not leaning like I'm not marketing anything, right? I've never paid for a marketing ad, right? Through the quantum living lifestyle, right? Versus when I had products, the marketing was all over the place, correct? Like everything was more surface, but like precise by the plan that gets to be to execute the success, right? Here is for retail, here is for personal training, here is for this. And when we were starting to come and create purely through the heart's intelligence, I feel like it might feel like it takes longer, because all the surface like clients that wouldn't align, gets to fall off as well. You're not performing anymore. Like you said, you're not performing anymore. You're the one that's choosing. Like let's say for me, I'm the one that's choosing the client. Clients don't choose me. Like they do, they come. Yet I'm the one that's gonna choose if I want to work with you or not. For me, that's wealth as well. And if you talk to me 7, 10 years ago, where I was very hardcore businesswoman, I would be like, "What do you do? No, Roma, what are you talking about? No, 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 no. We bring in more clients. What do you? Shh, don't choose anything. Bring the clients. Bring the clients. I'm gonna turn them. I'm gonna like that would be that would be it. And now it's like, no. we'll wait when it's right, when it feels aligned. Like, so even that can mess with your mind at times, I feel like, where you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Just said no to thousands of dollars. I just said no to another class. Oh, but maybe if I do marketing this class, there is more gonna come in. Like, you get it? Like, but then yet there's a deep knowing inside. I was like, wait. Yet everyone that comes in is absolutely aligned. How fun is that? I almost get to do less work in the long run. It's
Mhm.
less work, more sustainable, better results, right? And always more ease, less
Yeah.
friction, less conversation. What about wealth, when you don't have to run the conversations in your head anymore that you just had? What about that wealth in your nervous system when you're constantly at
Huge.
ease? No matter what you said, you yell a little bit at a client, then you're still at ease. It was great, it's at ease. It wasn't great, you're at ease. That's wealth, you know? So I feel like we're all redefining it, and maybe it feels like, how is it going to work? Like, how is it going to work, right? But I'm not marketing, but I'm not. And I feel, yeah, it's okay. We're forging a new path. It's heart-based, car-coherent businesses only will survive. That's my interpretation. You don't have to take my words at all for anything. Never. I'm just making noise. I'm just making sounds, people. You take whatever you feel like. And that's what we were seeing, the structures that are built on survival and fear are collapsing. The successes that are built on survival and fear are collapsing, or ego-based only. And we're all going to move into this heart-led ways of living, being, expanding, getting compensated, and making money, and so on. So again, it might feel like it takes a little longer. It might, again, especially in the beginning, I did have doubts, and I bet I can, that supports many as well. I was like, I know already I've done it faster. Like, I know I could do it faster. Yet then I'm like, but then in the long run, it's just extra work. And maybe I invest extra money and then I get a little extra, but it's still like, you get it? Like, does it really
Mhm.
need to be? And I feel like less is more now.
Less is more. Aligned
Less is
action is
more. Go ahead.
devotion. It's aligned expression, you know. Aligned action is a devotion of our expression, if you will, through the
Right.
energetics,
Yeah.
rather than the hustle of forced doing, where that can be an imbalance in the frequency and the energy. The have to, going back to those types of agreements with ourselves, which can can keep rubbing up against
Yep.
some hard walls. But when we are leading from that open heart space through this devotional act of our why, that's where we can trust in this flow and this frequency that everything is energy. Um, and so, yeah, that the wealth of that knowing
Yep.
to allow yourself to slow down and create that spaciousness, to
Yep.
trust that through the embodiment of what you're showing up to do, that tiny one act that you were divinely guided to take, and taking that action, that's probably making up and can make up for so much more forced effort.
Yep.
But if you don't take that action, then you're reinforcing that negative, that
Yeah.
lack of trust.
Yeah. I feel like all of us have PhDs in that forceful push, make it happen, full of
Yeah.
effort, sweating. I don't know who I am anymore. Part, like, really, we're used to manipulating through the outside world everything to make something happen.
Yeah.
And so many of us, especially, let's say, Eastern Europeans, a lot of us, like, really come from a place where the paradigm with finances and money is just like, it's not even a lot of families, they wouldn't even discuss the success of finances because it's not even for you. Like it's not even in, it's not in your
Yeah.
world. Don't worry about it. You will never be that. Like you get it, right?
Yeah.
That's just money, big money, like, and especially in the Soviet Union, right? Like big money is only made if you're mafia. Like it gotta be legal. Like there's no way legally to make good money, right? So
Mm.
again, there's so many paradigms that we get to see which one we're carrying and literally break it. And again, it's not going to start being dismantled from the outside. It gets to be dismantled from within, all of it.
Mhm.
And where would I start? If let's say, to kind of summarize what I all shared, it would be pick, sit down, get a journal, get a notebook, get a pen, right? Maybe you want to ground, maybe you want to walk before, or maybe like put some happy music on, whatever that feels like. But something that you would like, oh, I feel great. And then write down your ideal week of wealthy you. How does it look physically? Meaning, how does your body move physically throughout the week? So, first of all, would I have the time to take in my water slowly, that first cup of structured water that I make every rising with some sea salt and some lemon, and I take it in slowly and I appreciate it? Would I have time to do my limbs? Right? Would I go that week to a spa? Would I have a nice dinner and a evening of slowing down with a book only and don't have to do anything, right? Um, would my rooms still be organized, right? I will look at everything, right?
Mhm.
Would my emotional state would be at ease if that week everything that I invest in, see, I don't even utilize word pay. Don't use word pay. Pay, it's like I paid and it disappeared. I invested I invested in this bottle. This is an investment. My dog's toy is an investment. I didn't pay for it. I invested. My company, meaning already energetically, right? I am the one that's declaring that it's bringing me value, correct?
Mhm.
Now, what other things would I be throughout this week, right? So again, would I be at ease and my mental conversation would be celebratory every time I pay, invest, right? So if even I write a check for my rent, how many of us write checks for something and are like,
Mhm.
oh my God, another $10. Oh my God, another 400. Oh my, like, wait, if it's ideal week of me, the wealthiest me ever in my entire life, when I write a $2,000 check, how do I feel? I feel so good that I have those $2,000 to write. I feel so good that my electricity is 400 because the fireplace is on, the lights of Christmas, let's say I don't have is on, and like all this abundance is on. We have so many rooms where we sit and the light is right.
Yeah.
What I
Celebration for the service, that gift.
Yeah, exactly. And then literally step into that. So, for example, like I share with you, maybe these times, the time wasn't so present just from a take it, yet I created it that I still, no matter I work 12 hours plus the clients of personal training, I still showed up for myself, meaning I created a time, right? Writing the checks out, tuning into appreciation, and making sure that my heart is open. See, the heart contracts in any subject. So let's say Sherry still wants to get married, and her heart contracts when she says that, or she talks about romance, or love, or being alone. Guess what? She can't attract the partner right now because her heart literally repels it. Every time your heart contracts, it repels it. So how comfortable that ideal week, you wealthy, how comfortable are you all week? Think, feel, talk about the wealth with expansive heart. It's open. It's not contracting. Wealth, 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 wealth. Money, 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 money. Bills, bills, bills. Oh, it doesn't contract. Bills, bills. Another bill. Oh, it doesn't contract anymore. That's when you're going to start the flow coming. And let's say maybe right now I don't have the at this moment the extra for the spa. Well, guess what? I'll put extra candles around my freaking bathtub. I'm gonna carve and create more time and put an actual speaker instead just the phone into the bathroom and blast the frequency or the music that I want. Maybe if it's your thing, you're gonna bring tea or a glass of wine into the bath. Maybe a book, whatever that is. This is your spa. Dinner. You don't have to take yourself out to a fancy dinner. Well, make a good steak at home. Put the candle. Do the whole the white cloth thingy for yourself. Literally, literally. And then you
Yeah.
got out of the bath. Who is walking? How do you towel yourself off if you're a very wealthy woman right now? It's very different, beautiful beings, by the way, if you're gonna notice. You know, for example, uh, this is a quick little tool as well, right? So lymphatic massage, or it's really good to take care of your lymphs
Mhm.
daily. Da, da, da. So, for example, I put these two together: the wealthy woman towel drying and the lymph. So I have this linen towel, and I literally go through my how I towel dry, like I'm putting my socks on. I towel dry up, up, and I feel like I'm putting these long gloves on. That's how I towel dry my body.
I love it.
It's a wealthy, and then stockings, and I can feel my fascia, my limbs tightening up, my limbs moving, like literally, like that's the wealthy within me, right? So again, there are so many little ways for you. Or for example, okay, I'm doing live, you want to see it. Yes. There's like, dress up around the house a little. Like, it's a cute jeans. You don't have to. Sometimes I can jump online even being in the sweatpants. Really, at this. Yet sometimes it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna kind of have a little adventure even around the house, even when I'm cleaning, even when I'm doing something, right? So move into these things, and then when you're having conversations, either it's mental within, either it's with your husband, with your girlfriend, with whomever, right, about the money, about the finances, about the safety, the security, the in abundance, notice what are those conversations. you know if somebody came back and be like, hey, I got this for you, but I didn't find other kind, so this one was $2 more. Maybe you're like, you shouldn't have buy it. We should have waited for the. Again, notice, because we're rendering our reality in real time, as you shared so beautifully. Again, listen to this carefully one more time. You are rendering your reality right now in this time, in the real time. It's like you're creating your own movie in the real time. So right now, as multidimensional being, there is a character, Roma. There is a director, Roma, within me as well, right? There is a narrator right there. There is a script writer right there, right? There is an extras even right there. I can be an extra as well. Yeah, I can be the main character and the extra at the same time. No worries. Of course, we're multidimensional beings. So again, my emotional state is that narrator, you know, that inspired action, correct? It comes from that director. Action! Right? My expression comes how tuned the Roma is to whatever she's playing today,
Mm.
you know? So, my invitation today, start playing and go all in for the whole week till next Monday. And then throughout the week, sit down and write these things down for yourself, right? I am the wealthiest I've ever felt, I've ever been, I've ever experienced. My wealth starts right here, right now, and go. I'm wealthy with trillion cells and voltage in the body that is a nuclear bomb, like, right? Well, I'm wealthy with what else? And find the ways that you're wealthy. And then see what other ways you can already step in that would align with that ideal week of you being wealthy. So again, the conversations, the spa, the restaurants, the dinner, right? Like even allowing yourself to, oh, I'm gonna call today early in. I'm just, you know what? I'm gonna go and lay down at 6 p.m. and like and read and journal and watch comedy, and I'm just gonna allow being with myself. And then if I'm very wealthy, but let's say my house is such a mess, right? Like, well, would I
Mhm.
have someone to support me with this? Yes. Guess what? You get to pick it all up. Right now, yes. And eventually you'll have someone supporting you. Yet you want already to be emotionally, mentally, and physically in that character. Go ahead.
And leading with that to continue that energy or that embodiment, um, a great tool and one that has supported me immensely is the immediate space you bring your mind and your emotion to first thing when you wake up. And maybe it's running through that day of your wealthy embodiment. The first thing you wake up, sit up, place your feet on the floor, take a big breath in before your mind can go into anywhere else. Bring yourself into the experience of the day that you're creating. Feel it, see it, touch it, taste it, dance with it, laugh with it, give gratitude for it already. And this is so key, so critical, especially for anyone who is dancing between the space of allowing themselves to have just joy. Because the energy that we bring from the next day or from our sleep or in the potential fear that we might have been used to waking up in, that awareness to consciously shift immediately before allowing yourself to unravel into the energy of that fear-based experience. Just as an example, you're already opening the gates for so much more safety to be created in your body and building upon that in your nervous system.
Absolutely.
Because their nervous system is really the one that guides our experience, and meeting that to expand that thermostat, that capacity of safety in the way we choose to move. So waking up,
Yeah.
feet on the
100%.
ground, bringing yourself to your breath, right into your body, not bring yourself to thought, bring yourself to
Exactly.
feeling first. And
I
if you
always,
have sunshine coming through
yeah,
that
yeah,
window, do that too.
yeah. Sherry, I always used to say, and it's so funny, and now it makes sense why I said, you know, um, when people say, let me think, or, I'm thinking, it's like, And I was like, hey, look at the society. It ain't working for us. Let's face it. Like, really, thinking hasn't been working for us. Look at where he got us. It,
Mhm.
it really didn't get us anywhere far, right? We're kind of just
It limits us to
Groundhog
the
Day
physical,
with the
you
same.
know? Yeah.
Literally. And I love what you shared. Rising is unnegotiable. Rising, grand rising routine, right? So morning routine, you can say. I don't utilize the word morning so much, although everybody uses. So yeah, it's unnegotiable in quantum living lifestyle. All of us, we check in the AM and we'll check in the PM. That awareness is the key. Without that awareness, again, if you don't see the blind spot, you can't do anything about it. If you don't know where you're at in the field at the moment, how are you gonna co-create or render it? If how can I render right now to my liking, my reality, If, you know, my head thinks that I'm there, but my emotion is over there and my body is doing something else, you know, my body might be already right there and I might be thinking like, I'm rich, I'm wealthy, I'm abundance, right? But my heart is contracting and my body, let's say, is in the, hide, void, freeze, be small. It's the same with personal training. Um, where my success really, well, that's what it really supported me. My success there was like, what's happening? Why is it so good? And then I only understood that I was aligning the emotional mental body. So reframing their mental body, aligning to emotional. If somebody would come to me to the gym, right, and we're about to work out, and they really don't want to, it was funny because I used to not let them work out, and then they'll be like, "But no, we're gonna go for a walk. We're gonna go for out to the lake. We're gonna go to the museum. We're gonna go to the movie." And they're like, "What do you mean? I don't need you on the treadmill, physically working and going. Oh shit! When is it gonna lose the weight? How long it's gonna take me? Look at my body. Like, you're not doing the work. You
Mhm.
might temporarily lose some weight, yeah, because physically you're exhausted yourself,
It won't
but
sustain. Yeah.
you're gonna gain it right back the moment you get off the treadmill or the diet, because nothing within changed. And on the top of it, the results are so much harder to reach because your emotional and mental body is working against the physical body. So if nothing is alignment, it's like ripple in the water, right? Drop one. If I drop next two of them, they cancel. They start canceling each other. So my emotional body has to drop the same ripple, my mental and my physical. So action is in the same ripple. The way I feel and the way I think is the same. That's when you're gonna get results fast with much less work, physical work, without the efforting, rather fully aligning, feeling into it, leaning into it, right? Being with it. And then the same results are sustainable. So you choose if you want to work with only one body working that way and the other one's working this way. Results gonna take long, so much effort, unsustainable. You'll be back in no time where you were, where you started. Or again, aligning those bodies, and that's the wealth. That's the wealth that everything is really within your reach. Everything you ever wanted. Your healthy body, your harmonious ease within, you feeling in equilibrium no matter what's happening, you feeling good in relationships, even if those relationships are playing out a little this or a little that, right? You knowing yourself, feeling that intimate with yourself, allowing yourself to express yourself authentically, correct? That's wealth. And then within that, you can just literally reach and grab anything you want. The fruits are right there, right? Imagine you in a long run living in such an alignment that anything you decide, it doesn't take years. It doesn't take PhDs, right? It doesn't take building forever. It's right there. Reach it. Done. Like that's wealth. Amen. Um, Before I'm gonna close it, Charlie, anything beautiful, anything for you that's coming up. Oh, obviously, where do we find? So I know you're feeling called maybe to start a YouTube going. Yet her YouTube is still. We met on Instagram, so I know Cherry's Instagram is on, and I'm
Consciously
gonna put,
connected
yeah,
living.
and I'm gonna put the links in the description. Yet, where else we find you? Maybe your offers, whatever you would like to share. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the best place to find me right now is definitely on Instagram at Consciously Connected Living. Um, and I'm in the process of possibly launching a YouTube page. It's marked private right now. Um, so yeah, find me there. Come start a conversation. If you feel called to say hello, I'm totally open to uh, having conversation. And as long as we are moving forward in our heart-led expression, that is the way. The world of co-creation is our world of possibility. So really opening the doors to cross-pollinate and curate
Love
and
it.
activate aliveness. And just a reminder, what you allow yourself to be, you become. So bringing in that practice of feeling in through our expression. And so a lot of the immersions or online experiences that I support are all built around activating vitality from the inside out, leveraging tools like breathwork, hypnosis, drinking living water, brain rewiring, neural reprogramming, excuse me, through vocal cues in the process to really shift that energetic experience to a world of activation.
Wow, beautiful. And again, like I cannot not see it. Even a half year ago, I was like, okay, how is this going to pop up, this new earth? Like, just pop up. Like, how is it? Okay, so I know I trust it, but how? And now I see it so clearly. Really, we have so many of us already in place, having had experiences, collapsed, pulled ourselves. It's funny, my charger is not charging. I'm gonna bring it up. Pulling ourselves through the collapse, right? Rebirthing ourselves, redefining. For somebody, somebody redefined their health, somebody redefined their family, somebody is redefining wealth, right, and aliveness. And that's the beauty. And I feel like we have so many experienced beautiful souls already, uh, in a in enough coherence, okay, in enough aliveness, and wholeness to literally be able to support others,
Mhm.
um, to support others, through their presence, sometimes, just through their presence, because their fields are so potent. And most of us that cleared up our own fields, actually the others, through just holding the space, through advice, right, through seeing into them, being able to hear the other. So I feel like it's all in place. And now, as we're connecting, you and I connecting, and then somebody else connecting to you, me and Jeffrey connecting, Dr. Catherine and me and Jeffrey and you. I feel like we're bringing the structures together. Yes, we're intertwining, and now we're just building up on it. That's it. Because really, again, we have so many beautiful beings that their health collapsed, their relationships collapsed, their emotional, mental, physical health collapsed. And they were able to rebirth themselves. We were able to rebirth ourselves. Hence, the collective rebirth is happening, and we're able to support. And the support doesn't have to look like I'm coaching or I'm leading. Just you being here with the field that is in coherence. Come on, this is huge, huge. I heard that two people in full coherence. Um, I think Heart Math. I don't
Mm.
remember, either Stanford or Heart Math did the research. Um, that the meditations, especially group meditations, right? They're really, really like very potent and beautiful. Yet in that meditation, people have to get to be in heart coherence, because there was actually a research done as well, where people were forced to give gratitude, and there was a zero potency there. So if you're giving gratitude, right, or your meditation, so two people in a full coherence can override 10,000 people in lack of coherence. What?
Incredible.
So, like, you get it? Like, you and I sitting in this house in deep coherence, going into meditation or alignment or even heart open conversation, right? My neighborhood is feeling it. What? What? Like, how amazing is that? Right? So,
So
again,
cool.
that's the beauty, that's the potency, that's the wealth.
Yes.
What about this wealth where you are just walking antenna of health and wealth and abundance and coherence?
That's why it's so important for us to stay in our own frequency, that coherence of surrender,
Yeah,
trust,
yeah, yeah,
because that
absolutely.
power just in itself, that expression of ourself ripples
Yeah, yeah,
far and wide.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, and sometimes it's a trigger, and sometimes it's inspiration. It's still activation. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's still a medicine. I
It's still
always say,
medicine.
yeah, my mom used to literally call me a while ago, and now again, when I look back, I'm just like, wow, it makes sense, all of it. My mom used to call me walking trigger, literally. She was like, walking trigger is coming. On me, yeah, because my expression was always either very passionate and even almost theatrical, right? If I speak, for me it's almost challenge it's like really challenging, like just to
Yeah.
like
To
I
be
gotta
small.
stand up and do it and show it to you and like go, yeah, since I was little I was that. And they're like, can you just sit and talk, like can you just be like very and I used to try to fit, like my voice was the actually biggest insecurity, because my mom worked as a teacher, so when she come home, if I want to see anything, I just start to send it. She's like, your voice is so loud. Shh, I'm tired. Quiet, quiet. Oh, your voice is some. Really, I had such an insecurity, very about my voice. Really, it took me a long, like, because it's like loud and it's obnoxious, and the things that I'm sharing is like, oh, you just cuckoo, go away, go away. So again, it's such a beauty being able to allow yourself to die in that and to be reborn in that, because
Yes,
everything that feels like it's a flaw, really, it's our gifts. Um,
exactly.
uh, you know, and I know now as well. Like probably if the voice wouldn't be such an insecurity, I don't know if I would be here speaking so much, because I like through rebirthing myself through that, you know, um, I kind of understood that, that's the gift as well,
Yeah.
once you're on the other side. Um, yeah, absolutely. And we all have so many gifts. We all have so many talents, so much value to give ourselves, to share with this world, these worlds, I would say. um, and not recognizing this wealth and trying to reach any other wealth, I think that's where the biggest poverty is.
Yeah.
That we couldn't recognize, couldn't see the wealth within us, the innate wealth within us, the innate abundance, the innate infinite possibilities within us, because that's where we really are. In every moment, right now, like look at this. In the quantum world, right? Sharon, there is no wrong or right. Correct? Correct. It's simply
Correct.
either aligns or doesn't align, and sometimes, even if it seems it's a bad thing, it had to happen because that's the divine redirection, that's the contract, that's the abandonment issue that is supposed to come up, right? It's still perfect. It still works for the light.
Hmm.
So me, in every moment, as I'm like right now, we're sitting, right? This now, and this now, and now look, there's another now. Now there's another now. In this every now, we have billions of possibilities to choose whatever I want to be right now. I can do that looks something wrong. It's still gonna work for the light. Don't worry about it. I can right wow. Just the freedom of me being able to do what I want to do. The next hour, I can go clean my room. I can edit the these. I can do nothing, right? I can create something. There is every time I think about it from that perspective of like my own experience here is such a wealth, and I have so many moments of now in that one day. One day is not that one now, right? Baby, we can sometimes live a lifetime in a day.
Yeah.
You know that. A minute of stillness sometimes, right? A minute of this meditation and coming to the ground zero. You have such an experiences that you got out of it, and you were like, wow, I lived a month right now. I feel like in that half an hour. And you were like, wow, this day is already a new day and already different. Like, just thinking, just feeling into that for me. So take off every frame of I have to, my biggest limitation. Take off I should. Take off I need to. Every time you say I need, by the way, if you want more tools for the language, there is one or two videos on YouTube, on my YouTube, one for sure, where I say words create your worlds. And then there's two master classes that are absolutely amazing that we going by words. Yeah, we're going through the words and rewriting, reframing
Reframe.
the stories. Yeah, it's on Patreon as well if you want to check it out.
Awesome.
Yet YouTube has a few as well. Uh, and yeah, sit down, in fact, sit down and write every I have to, I should, I need to, I must that you say, and look at these pages. You're going to
Yep.
probably freak out yourself how much you trap yourself through the words. No wonder you feel tired of feeling tired and exhausted of constantly needing to keep up, you know, and then take it and start reframing it. And if the reframing is challenging, go the worst case scenario. Go there. Don't worry about it. For example, Sarah has to take a shower before she comes to the life. Okay. Do you really have to? You don't take a shower. Okay. If I don't take a shower, I'm gonna feel smelly and my confidence not gonna be great. And I'm gonna keep thinking in the back of my head that I didn't prepare for the life. And I'm gonna then babble, and then I'm not gonna be clear, and I'm gonna probably fuck it up, the life. Okay, okay, let's go there. Not every, okay. So you fucked it up. What's next? So now I fuck it up the life. Then I don't want to even do the YouTube. And then because I feel disappointed with myself, I go back to the doubts of thinking that I'm not supposed to express myself and maybe I don't have any value to give. I close out the Instagram. Okay, what's next? Well, now I close out the Instagram. On the top of it, I remember I'm not married. I don't even know if you're married. I didn't get married the way I supposed to. Now I'm depressed. I started drinking again. Now I'm depressed, lonely, sick. Okay, what's next? The only thing you cannot do is die. Go, 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 go. Well, at this point, I am a single, lonely, drunk woman. Now I don't work anymore, so I start have to steal for the alcohol. Right? Go. Now I end up on the streets. Okay, okay, then you know what? I stole something. I ended up in the prison. Okay, what? And when you get to the bottom of the bottom, right? The bottoms are usually, some prison time, homeless time, lonely time, being, let's say, obese or unhealthy time, right? Now, let me ask, I don't know how many people that are overweight or obese live and experience this experience on earth. Many, many, many. How many homeless? Many, many. How many people in prison? Well, we have in prison people. How many people? The best one is like I need to pay taxes, right? Like how many people don't pay taxes? Some of them in prison, some of them don't. Okay. Yet you gotta understand that there is already billions of living your worst case scenario. And they're
Yeah.
not any worse, they're not less value, they're not less wholeness, they're not. You only see that it's a choice.
Hmm.
So with in between I have to, when you said if I don't, this happens. And if I don't, if this happens, this happens. The word if, basically, it's a choice, right? So again, there's nothing wrong to experience a homeless life in this matrix. Nothing. Nothing wrong to experience, I don't know, not taking care of your body. Nothing. You'll have different experiences. That's all. There is no judgment on those people as well. You don't get to. You can just judge yourself if you want. If you want, there is. So now you're gonna understand. It's a choice. At the end is a choice.
Our choice.
Everything that I declare that I do, and it's actual choice. And it's beautiful because it is a choice. And I think a lot of people don't see it. I'm closing it. Do you see how long I'm closing it? The light. Because it's a choice. You know why we don't see it? Because we used to think and we thought already that we're making choices while we were not making choices. Well, everything was programmed.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's funny because we think that we chose our careers and most of us didn't. Schools, most of us didn't, because a lot of us went what would be the best for making money, the safest, or whatever parents wanted, as Facebook, as Zoom agrees, right? Whatever was good, right? Good fit. Um, a lot of us didn't even choose partners, right? Because a lot of us came, well, like have to have a partner to be a whole woman and a family and kids to be value to the society, right? Complete woman. Oh, I need more stuff and to look good. So again, a lot of us already even chose to have this at this certain time because it was safety and programming, right? So it's funny how we keep saying that we chose all these things when it was programming, but then when we're put with the choices, we say we don't have a choice. Isn't it a paradox? We live in such a joke. I really, there's so much laughter for me in all this cosmic joke. I'm glad that I'm at the laughable state.
Stage. Yeah.
Because there was a lot of tears before, obviously.
Yeah.
Now it's constantly, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, I don't
Wow.
even understand why people think it was logic. Because a lot of times people will, don't go into this woo woo stuff, utilize logic. Well, logos, that's all what is. Logos, the higher mind, logic, it's very, none of us lived logically. We just, really, we just fooled our, like, the programming is so good that you thought you utilize logic when it doesn't, how? None of it was logical at all to begin with. So, anyways, that's my rant for closing. Shift your wording, write everything down, reframe your stories, and literally, biggest invitation. I'm calling you all forward. You can put, I would actually invite you to put in a week comments under this live. If you went for that week of wealthiest ideal you and your experiences, or you didn't. If you didn't, no problems. Put it. Why you think you didn't? Because there could be a blind spot right there, right?
Mhm.
You not even trusting or allowing yourself to know that you can. If you did, maybe it was very easy and you start noticing a lot of alignments. Oh, I kind of already live like there. I just didn't notice, and because I don't notice, I can't make more of it because our attention literally renders it the reality around us, or maybe you'll be like, wow, insane. I wasn't able to show up for 5 minutes all week for myself in the AM. Ah, so then it will allow you as well to be like, so circumstances really has got me, right? And for me to shift this, I get to break through and I can see that it's my responsibility as well. It wasn't only circumstances. I just say that I want to, but I don't show up. Wow. No, bad. It's not bad. It's beautiful because everything that we didn't want to look at is just more of us, more of our potential. It's always more of your potential. Because imagine these parts that we don't want to look, the events that didn't want to be processed, or anything that voided, is just a part of you that was never, ever, ever nurtured. What happens when you take a kid that was never nurtured, right? And now give him all the circumstances, all the nurturing to succeed? Oh, you bet the kid will succeed. It just wasn't nurtured. So it feels like it's a loser. but, but it's not, right? It's the biggest potential. You don't even know the potential of once you're going to start nurturing that part of you. You know?
Love a
So
ritual.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I would love to see a couple comments, at least if like, oh, I actually did that. And it wasn't, or whichever way you went, because I'll come in and check and I will add my interpretation, maybe Sherry gonna come in and add her interpretation as well into comments, and so on. So yes,
An invitation to play.
Yeah. Because again, remember one thing. Why the quantum living lifestyle, right? Why the conscious living, not what do you call it? A retreat or a class, because it's your body that gets to embody these frequencies, gets to feel them, gets to ripple them out. So information that we're sharing, the field that we are holding, it's a possibility for you to remember that, possibility for you to activate that, possibility for you to unravel that. Yet the unraveling, the activation, the stabilization and anchoring of it, it's going to be on your end. And if you dare to create a little time, a little ritual for yourself, universe will double down on you for sure. No worries. Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's a great way to wrap it in a bow.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, we took a while as well. I didn't even watch a clock. Now it's like, oh, cool, cool. And yeah, again, we didn't really prepare anything. We felt beautifully aligned in our energies. And I know Sherry was moving through some stuff last week as well. I was moving through some interesting, energetic collapse. I would say 2 weeks ago. So we're in it. We're
We're in
all
it with you.
yeah, we're all in it together for sure. Yet I'm here because, and I bet Shara is as well, because really feeling that ease on the levels that you never thought possible, having that mental conversation where it never entraps you, seeing yourself, feeling yourself, caring about yourself, talking in a ways of wealth, love, enoughness, wholeness. It does things to you that you cannot unsee and feel. It shifts you, transforms you in the ways that you do start enacting and being and manifesting in a ways that is good with one and the whole. And even the wealth definition changes so much for you. Yeah, years ago, like, I mean, give me the Porsche, that's all. Like, that would be my symbol of, like, I got there, correct? Where now, if somebody asks, like, but something for yourself, it's almost challenging. It's like, well, it's unfolding naturally and it's absolutely fantastic. I don't want to interfere with the universe. It knows better than I do. Now, me putting a house in Hawaii in my image, I think it's just going to get annoying at this point because it's what's unfolding. It's so magical. So thank you so much, Sherry, for being here with us. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
creating your conscious living. Thank you for rippling um, that beautiful wholeness that you had to anchor. You had to remember within yourself, and you did that. You didn't have to, you got to, and you did that. And I am infinitely grateful for everyone. Oh, and there are a few. Okay, awesome. There are a few comments as well for everyone that's been watching, and everyone that will watch later. For every open heart, for every unfolding of yours, because every single little shift within your emotional, mental, physical trajectory, spiritual trajectory will shift the whole dynamics, the whole fabric of your reality, meaning it will affect the people around you as well, in such a beautiful, profound way. And yes, that's wealth. To have such a power over your own reality, to have such a power on your own rendering and creation, to have such a power of the way you can, like, how many ways you can choose to experience this. Wealth's word doesn't even fit this all in. And you are it. You always been it. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
might
Thank you.
be,
Thank
as we keep talking, I might be creating a master class of being a glitch where we literally gonna go and rewrite our stories together. So that would be like a journaling masterclass, I think. We would actually just go and do the work instead of extra information. So I feel like I might pop up. So I'm just letting you know now because I might pop up even December, maybe December 19th. December is a big month in general. December 1st today. What a portal for us to start this. It's amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, so watch out for that. We might do some work and being a glitch and just like, oh, flip it all. Other than that, go enjoy yourselves. Play, 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 play. Do whatever you need to do. Be whomever you need to be to align to the highest timeline, deepest ease, wholeness, or whatever you wish. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
I'm gonna turn them off now, and I think we'll still be able to stay on here.